Okay, well, welcome today. Here at Visit Lake Norman, we recruit regional events and promote destination experiences within Cornelius, Davidson, and Huntersville to generate visitor spending. I'm Cindy Bartley, Marketing Director at Visit Lake Norman. I will be the primary contact for restaurants, attractions, and retailers. And on our panel, we have Travis Dancy, our Director of Sales with Visit Lake Norman. He is the primary point of contact to hotels, venues, and park facilities. And we also have Leo Wick with Destination Travel Network, or DTN, who can help those looking to advertise on our website, visitlakenorman.org. I'll kick us off with a few slides before handing it over to Leah, then follow up with questions from you. So please use the Q&A feature throughout the presentation and of course towards the end. Let me share my screen. All right. So manage your listing on Port. So Port is our partner opportunity resource tool. Right now is the optimal time to update your listings. I say that because we receive the most website traffic in our peak season running through April through October, where it peaks in July, much like your businesses as well, as I would think. This is a screenshot of the login page to Port, where you can update your listing description, your account and contact information, add events, special offers, and photos, access website listing reports, and other resources we provide. We have been enabling access in groups, so starting from our hotels, then last year to all our restaurants, and now all our partner listings this year. So please contact me to get your Port listing and login enabled. If you don't already have access, or if you have a new team member that you would like to enable access, I can do that for you as well. We can set up on-site or virtual training sessions to navigate Port, but anyone here at Visit Lake Norman can help you with questions there. Next is our partner eSplash. So on the screen is a recent partner communication. So last year we found we were communicating with our partners more than ever. So we've compiled this more formal e-newsletter dedicated to partners. So we'll share Visit Lake Norman signature events, resources, updates, and reminders. Something new highlighted here is our digital toolkit to view partner benefits we have available. And I'll move on to that for our next slide. So we've compiled a dedicated landing page called Partner Portal, and there are helpful resources and this digital toolkit for partners showcasing all of the benefits Visit Lake Norman offers. I won't go into detail to everything of benefits with you today, but just wanted to make sure and mention it so that you get a chance to review it on your own time. We'll follow up with a partner eSplash with today's recording and just other helpful links to these resources. And at this time, I'll stop sharing my screen and pass the remaining part of our presentation today to Leah with DTN.
All right, thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right, so hopefully everyone can see it. Thank you for taking time out of your day. I know that hopefully it's a busier time than it has been and continues to grow that way. It seems to be the trend. And especially thanks to Cindy and Travis for allowing me this time. I've been with Destination Travel Network for 10 years, and this is what we do. So we work with destinations all throughout the United States and Canada with helping businesses connect with consumers using these fantastic websites. So I'm going to go into a few things And I think my team kind of made this as a joke, but because I tend to ramble. So just so you guys know, I get super excited and I'll start talking like crazy stuff. So, but these are some of the things that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the opportunities that you actually have on the website. We're going to talk about some other things that will give you food for thought. We really want to help you with your marketing in general. And we have some good insight of some things that you could think about when you're doing some marketing programs. Creative best practices, which fits in perfectly with what Cindy was talking about with updating your listings, making sure that content is good and those photos are good. So we'll go into just starting off with one of the things that I want to make really clear are why these programs are so successful. And there's a lot. I tell my team all the time, everything's a recipe. There's a lot of factors that go into a lot of things, but the organization itself is key to this because everything that they do is with all of you in mind and with the area in mind. They compete with areas all over the world, and so they do everything they can to make sure that you are known, that um, it's really um, an important factor for them. It's what they do. It's their bread and butter. And sorry, I got distracted for just a second because I realized I did not finish the in. So on my screen, but basically that's their what they do. So why that makes it extremely successful when it comes to the advertising program, because if you think about it, we don't have somebody at a front desk anymore that answers all the questions that a tourist, a local, any type of consumer is looking for, right? They can't call up and say, hey, what's open, what's nearby, what would you suggest to do, what are the fun things to do, what's family friendly, all of those things. So this website, somebody had told me once, it's the best employee you could ever have because they never call in sick. They're open 24/7 and they have all the latest and greatest information. So it's a really important tool to use, and that's why it's successful. And what's supposed to be under after the in there? So I did a couple searches. I go into incognito and I just kind of see where things rank organically on Google. And when I type in hotels in Lake Norman and free things to do in Lake Norman, and I could have gone on like family friendly things in Lake Norman. This website is always one of the top organic searches, period. And that's due to everything that they do. It's so smart. And it's really hard as businesses, you probably know, it's hard to get your business on that first page of Google. And the nice thing is being a part of this, whether or not you do the advertising program on top of it, being a part of the listings, being a part of that community, being a part of this organization, you're able to be on the first page through them. So if you are things to do and someone's typing that in and they're clicking on that link, they're going to find you. And that's really nice because it's competitive. It's hard to get up there. So it's a great thing. And one of the things I did want to mention is just in the last 30 days, with people that are actually part of the program, we've served over 230,000 impressions, and that led to 959 actual referral clicks to businesses' websites. That's just in the last 30 days, which is incredible, right? Because according, from what Cindy was just saying, you haven't even hit high season yet, right? We're in recovery. Your season's right around the corner. You guys are really set up for some serious success. So this program is pretty darn successful. So another reason, and don't mind all the bubbles, you don't have to read all the bubbles, but it's kind of an interesting document that I've always liked. And basically it goes into, this is a trusted website. People go here, they're used to these types of websites now, even more than ever, and they assume, rightfully so, that it's going to have good information. They trust it. Internet, it's kind of online's tough, right? It's a tough trust thing. So they actually trust these websites as much as they do family and friends, other review sites like TripAdvisor, Yelp. The funniest part is you look at that it's more trusted than travel agents and magazines and newspapers. The funny one to me is coworkers. I don't know who people are working with, but for whatever reason, they trust these websites more than, the person they work next to. So I love my coworkers. So hopefully I would trust them a little bit more, but it's super, super strong. And this resonated with me, and that's why I put it in here. Half the money I spend on advertising is wasted. The trouble is I don't know which half. And I'm sure that resonates with a lot of businesses. I think that we think we know where things are coming from. Hopefully we're tracking well, but sometimes we just don't know. We think we need to be somewhere just because we think we need to be there, but we don't really know what our return is. Like, are we getting the best? Is that the best place for me to be? And so we want to try to help with optimizing your media spend and thinking about that a little bit more. Anybody who's been in sales for a while, or probably most industries, they're probably aware of a sales funnel. And it makes a lot of sense. You start at the top and that's where your net is wide and you're getting your information out. And then as it narrows in, you're getting to that conversion where a consumer actually stays at your hotel, enters your restaurant, etc. Well, we did a visitor one. And so it's a little bit different, but you have an awareness and you have interest. And that awareness is that wider. It's that wider net where they're starting to do some research. They're starting to actually show up on the destination websites. They're starting to get some more information. And then as they do that, now they're getting more interested. They're on the website and actually thinking about, oh, what are the things that I can do? What are some places that I can eat? Is this worthwhile going to? Or I'm going to be there for 2 weeks on business, or whatever that may be. They start to get interested and they start to make those notes. And then they get into booking that trip. And that's super important because that's what we want. And I'll give you an example. Last year, we did kind of a bucket list trip with my mom and we went to Maui. She'd never been to Hawaii. I'd never been. And we went and she had some mobility issues. So when I did research, first I had to figure out what island I wanted to go to. And that was kind of interesting research as I went along. Then we found where we wanted to go. Then I had to start to do some research on what could handle her mobility. What could she do? What could handle a wheelchair or a walker, whatever that may be, depending on the moment. And I booked those pretty quickly. And then when I was in market, which is that next level, I filled all those blanks in with what we wanted to do that day. So we did some shopping and all of those things. And I used the websites that they have as well for all of that information. And some of it would be, I'd be sitting there, we'd be having lunch and like, what do we do next? And I'd start looking for what's next. And then, of course, after it, then you want them to be an advocate, right? We know how important our reputations are, even more so because more people are online, more people are at home, more people are looking at these different things, and we want them to be an advocate. So this basically the visitor purchase funnel. So if you take those ideas, what this is showing you is kind of what hits those areas. It's not every piece of marketing you can do, but it gives you a little bit of an idea of what hits what where, because a good media mix, you're going to want all of that, right? You're going to want people to be aware, you're going to want them to be interested, you're going to want them to book and buy, you want them to be an advocate, you want all of these pieces. And so what this slide is showing you is where that those items can technically live. And if you see the ones that say DTN, so we cover a couple of those. So and I'm going to show you what those placements are, but we have that awareness interest item that you can get on the website. And then we have a lot of narrowing it down that still is interest, book, buy, and the in-market experience where they can find you specifically. It's a narrower part of the funnel. And so that's what this is showing. And it's really important for you to look at your own marketing and think about those things. Sometimes we can get kind of tunnel vision and like, this is all I want, but things lead up to that. And so you have to be aware of all of those areas. So now we're going to get into the paid content. And this just gives you an example. I'm going to go into the actual website so we can see what it looks like here. But what we try to do and what we've discovered and I'm going to go into that in a couple slides here, is we try to make it look like content, because really it is. We don't want it to scream advertising, because people don't like to be sold to. That's just kind of we're built that way, more so than ever. When you get that call from that salesperson, you're like, oh, you're instantly a little defensive. So we really try to make it blend in with the website while still giving the placements, the visibility, and the interactions that it needs. And we have two. I try to keep it really simple. When we're talking about the funnel, we have run of site placements. That's that broader awareness funnel area, because that's all over the website. It's you're just trying to get people interested in you. Or you can also think of it as kind of like a moving billboard, because it also registers and brands people a little bit, so that they do go to the area. Let's say you're a hotel, and then they go to the hotels, they remember seeing you elsewhere on the website, whether they are consciously aware of it or not. So run of site placements are fantastic, some of my favorites. And then we have page specific, and that's going to be that targeted area. That's going to be when you get them, they're interested, they're coming, they're looking for a restaurant. They're specifically looking for you. And so we have a mixture of those placements. So if you think about that media mix that I was talking about, you can achieve a lot of it on this website alone in this one area. So users almost never look at anything that looks like an advertisement, which is exactly what I was saying. It's just kind of a common thing. We used to do, and I wish I had the example still. I saved it forever. It was one of my very favorite placements 10 years ago, and it was created by the business, and it was fantastic. I thought it was fantastic, but it had this great ad, and he was a carnival. He did like illusion. He was an illusionist. So he had these like big magic hands that pointed like it was like an animated GIF or GIF, however you want to say that. Oh, and it pointed at this ad, and I'm like, I love it. Now I look at it and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that's horrible. But at the time it was amazing and it worked really well. But people just don't want that anymore. They just don't. And what this is showing is basically they did a research about eye tracking, and they look at hotspots of where people are looking. And if you look at the screen in those green boxes, those are advertisements, and everything else is content. So how amazing would those work out if we put those in that content? Because that's where people are looking. It's kind of noise in other places. So that's one of the reasons why we do what we do, is because we know where people are looking and where we're going to get the best results for all of you, should you be a part of the program. So I want to take you really quick to the actual website. And I'm going straight to attractions and entertainment. This is going to show you a few places. We have other elements that you can be a part of as well, but this gives you kind of a nice run of ideas of different things that you can do. One we have is this great placement at the top here. We call this a header image. Something really to be really important about this. This is page specific, it's category specific. It can't be, a hotel's not going to be seen on a restaurant page. It's just not going to work that way. The photos have to be pretty darn fantastic. You want to show the best of the best, and that's really, really important. And again, it clicks directly to your website, which is a nice thing. So it's really, this is what I call more of a branding than anything else, because this is, if you're looking for as many people as possible to your website, then this is something that you might want to do in conjunction with something else, but it isn't something I would do alone. It's really about branding. It's really just showing the best that you have to offer. And it's really important to have those really good photos. And we will help you through that. Honestly, if there's a photo, if we just can't find one, we'll recommend something else, because it's so important, not only to the integrity of the website, but also for you to get the best results. And then as we scroll down, I'm going to go into a couple other things. This is what we call our featured listing. One of my all-time favorite things to do. Basically what it does is it takes your listing from wherever it is within that mix, and it rises you to the top. It looks, of course, a little different. It's a little bigger. It has that visit website button right away. Your other listings still do those things. So don't think that your other listings like, well, wait a minute. Of course I want them to go to the website. It's just different. You'd have to go into it. Ours is just showing a button right away. So this gives you some great visibility. And again, if you think about what I was talking about Google, so if I'm looking for kid-friendly things to do, restaurant, whatever that may be, out of the 16 choices, I'm going to at least be one of the first ones seen on that with this actual element. It's one of my favorites. And then as we go on the page as well, then we have some really nice placements that look so much different when I started forever ago. So we have that spotlight, and that's what these little 4 boxes are, and they're run site, right? So the first 2 things I showed you, they are page category specific. The spotlight, and right next to it is a run of site banner. What these do is these run throughout the entire website. These spotlights are fantastic if you want to show something very particular about what you have to offer, like, the kayaks and something that really helps you stand out. The nice thing is with that as well, and at the very end, I kind of show you a little bit about our support or talk about that, is it's really important, just like it is with your listing, to make sure your content's up to date, your photos are great, all of those things go in there. And there's a great time to change things too. So let's say, you have kayaking in the summertime, and then in the winter time, you have a different offering. So make sure you change those things up that shows what people can do all year round. They can see what you have to offer no matter what season it is. And again, all of these things go directly to your website. We do have some other placements as well. There's quite a few to kind of go through, but the other one that I really want to make mention to that I'm not showing on the screen here is a mobile banner. So when I was talking about things that when you're in market and you're looking for things, that's really a nice mobile option for you because people are looking at their mobile phones. One of the things that I'll say with it, it's not like a typical banner that you might see where it's, I don't know, Kraft macaroni and cheese. Like, it makes no sense, right? These are not that. They float at the bottom. They're not in your way. You can mark out of them, but they give you a lot of exposure and they're relevant to what people are searching for, right? They're in the area trying to find things to do, places to eat, places to stay, all of those things. So it's really important. And so far, the research that I've done on a lot of these destinations, when I look at analytical data, mobile has always been really high, but it's even higher than it's been on average, just because people are more, they're remote, right? We're more remote than we've ever been. And Lake Norman's in a great spot because you've got a great draw with the lake, right? Like, that's a really great draw. People are really into those outdoor activities right now and having those options to them. So bring those in. The lake is a calling card, and then you get to fill in all of that other time. Again, the museums and the discovery places and all of those things, the restaurants, everything that you have to offer is wrapped around it. So definitely use the tools that you already are able to do. So that just gives you kind of a quick rundown of a few of the placements, especially some of my favorite ones. I'm really a big fan of the mobile banner and the featured listings. And that's usually when I would talk to people, especially on tighter budgets and different things. That's usually where I tell people to start. It's going to give you a really good taste of what these websites and the power that it can do. So let me go back to some best practices. I really want to focus on this. It's really important. It's important with your listing. It's important with any marketing that you do. More and more consumers need to put themselves in the scenario. They want to see people having fun. They want to see people, doing the activities that you're providing. Hotel was an interesting thing, and it's changed a little bit over the years, and it's a hit and miss, but it was always let me show you the best room that we have, and the perfectly made bed, and the sun in the background, and all of those things. And it's still not a bad thing, but there's also other amenities. And if you are, maybe you're a bed and breakfast and you have a beautiful landscape, take a picture of the outside just as much as the inside. People want to see the whole experience that they can. And that's really, really important. We used to do, especially like with restaurants, we might show a beautiful, our signature spaghetti plate, which everybody loves and we're known for. But if you put that plate of spaghetti on a picture, it might look good, but boy, would that be better if they saw a family sitting around that, actually enjoying that and having a good time. Just creates a different type of feeling. So make sure that that's what your content does. And especially with this website, again, inspire, excite the visitor, make sure it's relevant, and highlight the best that you have. I've spoken with thousands of businesses all over, and one of the things that it seems to be the hardest question when I ask somebody is like, why would I choose you? So if I have a business just like yours next door, you're right next door to each other, whether it's a hotel, it doesn't matter what the industry is. If I called you, why would I pick you over the person next door? And there's always something, and it could be something simple like, well, kids eat free at our restaurant here if they stay here, or, we have live music on Friday nights and no one else in the area does, or we have jazz and everyone else has country, whatever it may be. Focus on that. Focus on what you're really proud of, and focus on what you want people to know about you. So make sure, again, photography, super engaging, make sure that they're relatable, highlight that experience. I don't know if any of you have ever seen something that's happened, like even if it's on TV, like you see something that it stirs, like all of a sudden you want it, or you want to go do that. Like, you know what? I didn't think about that. That looks like fun. That's what you want those photos to do. You want someone to look at that and go, oh, that looks really good. I kind of feel like a burger right now. Like, you want to inspire and get people to do that. Again, copywriting is important. So, your listing information, all of those things, use all of it. Use all of it. So what's next, right? So we talked about a lot of things. We talked about where you're spending your money, making sure it's spent in the best places. So now we're going to get into, you get a program with us. What does that look like? Like, how do I do that? So when you start a program with us, you have an access to the portal. And the great thing is it ties in with your extranet, with your partner portal, which is what Cindy was talking about. It's the same password and login, so you don't have to remember another one. But you can get in and you can see at any point in time what your program is doing. And I like this for a couple different reasons. Not only do I like it because it gives you actual numbers, and numbers, they're great. We need to start somewhere. Most of us care about the conversions. So the numbers are good. We want to be seen as much as we can, for sure. And we want to have people come to our website. But now you get down into these graphs, and I love these graphs. Couple reasons for this. This can give you insight about marketing in general. So what Cindy said was spot on when she was talking about high season for the area, which probably mirrors most of your high season, right? So the more people that are in the area, the more people you're going to see. Well, that's why I like this too, because if you look at this chart for this particular advertiser, you can see the ups and downs. One is impressions and one is clicks, and it kind of shows you their high times, which probably mirrors the area. And it's going to mirror other things. So if you did other like Google AdWords or you did Facebook ads, it's probably going to be really similar. What you need to decide using these types of things, how you want to market in those low times. If you're open, you still want business to come in, you know, it isn't a time, even though money might be a little tighter. So it seems like I'm going to pull back because there's not that many visitors in town. Well, that's when you need to push forward. Really, if you think about it, if only 50 people are going to walk by your storefront today, you want to make sure 50 people see you. Whether, sure, you'd love to have 1,000 people, but if there's only 50 in the area, you want to make sure that you're in front of that. So a lot of times, when I tell people, definitely don't pull back. If you don't want to do more, that's one thing, but pulling back is kind of tough. But it can show you what you want to do. It might also show you like, hey, last year in July it was off the charts. This year it's a little bit. Maybe I should change my photo. Maybe I should change my strategy of what I'm saying. Those types of things. So it gives you great insight. So I really like it. But anyway, this is part of your program that you just get with that. So we support you 100%. So what ends up happening is, we talk you through, we figure out together, like, what's the best program for you, what's going to give you the results you're looking for, what kind of marketing. I've talked people out of things at times because it's not going to give them the results that they're looking for. And I have another option for them that will. So we want to talk you through that. Then once we actually get you going, you get access to this portal. We have a dedicated support team. And so whenever, if you need help understanding some of the reports, you need some other data, or you want to talk about the program in general, maybe you want to add something or change something up, you want to change your photos, you can do that. And all of that's just included with what we offer. There's no hidden fees with anything or anything like that. We're really doing our best to give you the best experience on these websites. So we're here for you every step of the way. So the next steps for you all that I would like for you to take away is try to reduce that advertising waste, increase your engagement by using better content. And, you want to make sure that your content, not only your visual content, but your written content is something that people will trust and relate to. That's going to help you. So by reducing your advertising waste, and I'm going to go right into that number 3, try to monitor your data. It can be challenging. I think it's easier than it used to be. Google Analytics has a lot of tools you can do as well. You can track to some conversions, you can track to money in, you can track a lot of different things and find out what's important for you. And then you're able to track to that. And then you're also able to ask really good questions. Like, hey, I noticed this is happening here, or when I did this, I saw this change. It's really, really, really important. So look at your media mix, make sure you're hitting all those areas that you want to hit. Try to get rid of that waste, really make really good decisions about where you're spending your money and where you're doing your marketing, and make that content killer. Make it the best that you can make. That's probably the number one takeaway. Really, really look at that. So that's really all I have today as far as going over that program. And I hope you got some education out of it as well. But I will be happy to answer any questions that anybody may have. And I have to see, I'm going to stop sharing and we should all pop back up. That way I can see if there's any Q&A. Does anyone have any questions? Or want any more information, or is there anything else that I could help with? Or Travis or Cindy, if you have any questions or thoughts, or I'm at your disposal. So
Yeah, I was
let me
gonna
know.
ask Leah just a refresher for me as far
Sure.
as terms,
Mhm.
very flexible, right? Somebody can go
Mhm.
month to month or
Yeah. So of course we recommend, because like I was showing that chart, we do recommend the 12 months because if you're open 12 months in particular, right? Advertising is important all the time, right? You've always got to be letting people know. But absolutely, if you're a seasonal business, let's say, and you're only open, you don't take any calls, you're closed, you don't do anything during certain months, then yes, absolutely, we do different terms for different things. Events, if you have an event, you want to lead up to something a couple months in advance usually, but you don't need to advertise after the event, right? Until next year. So absolutely, it's definitely flexible. It's a great question. Nope, Cindy, you are muted.
yeah, you're muted.
There it is. Okay.
There you go.
All right. Another frequently asked question that we get
Mhm.
sometimes for owners or managers that have multiple properties So can they have one ad that may pertain to both properties with the content that they can share or use?
Yes, that's my secret sauce. I tell people all the time, like I can take a budget and I can stretch it like nobody else. And so, yes. So what ends up happening, there's certain things that we can't do that with, which of course, like featured listings, right? They are singular. They have to relate to one organization. But our other items, absolutely, we could take, let's say you do a run of site banner, and we take the one placement that you purchase, and basically you'll share that placement with yourself. So who you want to promote, those types of things. We even have some people that will promote by quarter. Like maybe they've got 4 properties, and so one quarter they focus on one, and then they focus on another. We do lots of interesting things because we understand that yeah, I mean, if you start doing everything separately, it can really make a difference. So we absolutely can do that.
Great. Feel free, anyone listening, feel free to use the Q&A. I know another frequently asked question we get on our side when it comes to port is how quickly does the website update when you change or update your website listing or upload images or promotions. So if you have port access, first it sends it to the Visit Lake Norman team to approve. So, it could take a day or two before us to get to it. If it's something that's very time consuming or time sensitive, excuse me, don't hesitate, just shoot us an email for us to go in and approve it. We get email notifications, so we'll be jumping on and approving it as soon as we try and see them. But at that point, after approval, it may take, about an hour for it to refresh and be live on the site for visitors to see. Another question we get sometimes is how many visitors come to our website. And that has ranged. It has been up to 850,000 user sessions. Now, it's due to COVID, we're still, there has been a reduced rate to that, but not too much, but usually within the year from last year, we're looking at about 700,000 or so. And most visited web page is typically our events page. That's probably our second most visited page on our website. We have found a lot of people are now finding our blog, so we are happy to see that traffic coming through. I think that's one thing that truly accelerated during the COVID time when it comes to visitation there too. All right, well, I don't see any questions popping up, so I will conclude. So thank you everyone for your time and attention. Do not hesitate to visit us at the Visitor Center and Gift Shop on West Catawba. We're open Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. We're all here, so in person. Thank you for your support and services you provide the Lake Norman community and visitors. You are the ones creating those memorable experiences to our visitors every day. And I love ending it with this quote: may you be proud of the work you do, the person you are, and the difference you make. So thank you again for everything you do and for us. And we are very happy to spread the word as much as possible and send people your way. Thank you. Everyone have a great day.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.